trying to create a better me, so hopefully people who are hearing this are taking it the right way, can say, I can run a mile. It ain't about running 205 fucking miles, doing 4,000, being in the city. It ain't about all that shit. Shit doesn't matter. I want you to see how fucking far you can go, because we all come from that shit. That's why I have to be so authentic and so real about my own insecurities, my own faults, just being a fucked up person. I'm not the best at anything. I'm not gifted. I'm just driven.
And after that, go through that whole process, going through the court, locked up, get out, because I don't have a record. I've never had a record, never been in trouble with the law or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I end up getting out on house arrest, and what ends up happening is they no process that case.
What does that mean?
Basically, at the time I was told that that's pretty much that for most cases that it's pretty much over with unless you do something, or if they bring something up later, like within a year, to charge you again. So the whole time I'm like, okay, I'm thinking everything is done and over and stuff like that. So I'm like, fresh start, get away, move to LA, but then fast forward, Marshals, now I'm back here dealing with this shit again. And that's what the whole accusation to conviction comes from. Me buying a girl a hotel and only knowing her for 2 days and being accused and convicted for human trafficking.
So look, man, you already know where I stand on the whole thing. And you know what I mean, I'm always gonna be your friend. I'm always gonna support you no matter what the fuck happens. But there was people that didn't know your story dragging your name through the dirt. How did that make you feel? Did you even care? You know what I mean, that was happening?
Yes and no. Yes, in a sense, because it's now you have this reputation, because when people throw out that human trafficking stuff, the perception behind it is you're somebody out here snatching up women and throwing them in the van and deporting them out the country and doing all this other shit. And it had a negative effect on my reputation. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm cool with certain stuff. I'm not the perfect angel. If anything, I thought if I was to ever go to jail, it'll probably be for me putting hands on somebody, like maybe a fight or something like that, but never for no stuff like this, because any female that ever had an interaction with me, they would tell you, like, he's sweet. He may be an asshole. He going to challenge the way that you think and go against certain stuff that you say. But at the end of the day, he's not the type of person. Like, even when all of this stuff went down, I had exes that I dated back in high school reaching out to me, just making sure that I was okay, because of the fact that they knew the type of man that I was and things like that, because it's never no interaction. But that's the thing with the media. When the media gets a story, they're just going to run with it, and they're going to make it as harsh as you was. And I kind of figured I was just being the scapegoat in the pawn. Like, in the middle of my court case, the prosecutor was promoted to a judge. So she didn't care right or wrong what was going on in the case. It was just her getting her break and stuff to get promoted and stuff. You know, it was a lot. And, people believe what they see immediately on TV, thinking it's a credible source. And it, unfortunately, only the people that actually been around me the whole entire time I grew up with me knew quite the opposite. So yes, to a certain point, it did matter, because my reputation, how I treat women. I was raised by women. I was never taught to put my hands on women or to abuse, physically abuse or mentally abuse and shit. Now I'm going to speak my mind and things like that. But at the end of the day, never to that sort. So when this came out, it's like, this not me.
Right.
So it was kind of irritating. But the no part at the end of the day is just like, you know, at the end, no one's going to pay my bills. No one's taking care of me. So after a while, it's just like, fuck it, you know.
Yep. I totally understand. I totally understand. So you get convicted, right? You get convicted and you had to do some time, right? And I don't even know what charge did they actually wind up sticking to you?
They gave me accepting money for human trafficking and human trafficking, because the girl, even though even my lawyer brought it up several times in court, even the judge tried to stop the case when we was on. That's another thing that a lot of people don't understand as well. It was a conspiracy. They actually originally charged me with a conspiracy, thinking that I was working with other people. That's the reason why it was blew up how it did. They thought I was working with an organization of people. And the first day of court, even the police officers was like, his information, his social media, his number has no connection to anyone out and involved in this. The only one that he has connection with is this girl.
Right.
Who, by the way, already, you know, had two felony counts, one for identity theft and another for child neglect, and was there on a plea deal with the state of North Carolina to come testify because she had some other legal stuff on there. So it was me, a man with no record, never been in trouble, a military veteran versus a female. And I think the reason that the conviction came as it did is because it came out that the girl, you know, was 17, but she admitted on the stand that she lied about her age and had a fake ID. And admitted on the stand that she lied to the police about information, and I still was convicted.
Damn. You talk about going through.
But so that's what I was. So and they charged me with accepting money only because the girl said that she gave me money for gas.
Get the fuck out of here. Not for some gas money.
The way that the law is set up, if you receive any kind of financial donations from a situation of prostitution, that's accepting money. If you even have one get in the car and you just drop them off, you're aiding in prostitution. You can be charged for transportation.
So hold on, time out. So you telling me at the location I'm at right now, if I put, let's say somebody was out there walking and I guess they're a known prostitute, right? And I was like, hey, I'll take you home, right? And they gave me $5 for gas for taking them home. I am accepting money.
If you know, the way that the law is, you have to, it's like knowingly knowingly accepted money and things like that. But the way that law is set up, if you transport her, because the way that the girl was trying to say it, even though I had my witnesses of time and dates of where I was and things like that, because the girl was saying I was transporting her and driving her all around the city and da-da-da. And like I already said, only been in her physical presence all of 3 hours in 2 days. Never taken her anywhere besides to the Target and to the hotel. But they're saying somehow I knew she was a prostitute, and therefore when she gave me the money, it wasn't for gas. That was her giving me money because she was psychologically in a hole of like, I was forcing her to prostitute to pay me back for getting the room and doing all this stuff. It's all in the documentation. It's all.
That's wild, bro. That is a fucking that is wild. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I'm sorry that it seems like you didn't get a fair case to me. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. But
they didn't have any evidence of anything. There were several times that the prosecutor tried to bring in evidence that was to prosecute the other people that was involved. So we had to scratch that. The judge had sent the jury to the back to speak to the prosecutor, like, why are we here if there's no evidence of him doing anything? And then the prosecutor was like, well, this is how we prove a conspiracy. He was working. Well, the police said his number didn't. And they went through this whole back and forth. But the judge still let the case go on because he's like, it's a jury trial. So the jury is going to have to decide.
He'll be your peers, baby. All right. So how much time did you end up doing for the crime they accused you of?
Well, I actually did a total of 3 years, but what happened is they counted all the months and days that I had to sit on house arrest and go in and out of jail for the original case in 2015. Then the whole being locked up in LA and deported here, and the months that I sat in jail then till my actual court case. And then I actually did 10 months in prison, 10, 11 months in prison. And then I got out in summer 2018.
Yeah. What was going through your mind while you was in? I know you had a lot of long time. I know people say 3 hats and a cat. So I guess I should ask, what was your experience in prison? Is it like how everybody always try to glorify, like it's the coolest shit in the fucking world? And I say that loosely, so don't think I'm glorifying prison.
2, just my natural survival instincts kicked in. I mean, at that point, you got to do what you got to do to survive. Even though there's correctional officers in there, correction officers don't do anything. They're not around. The inmates run the jail. They know the time when the correction officers are around, when they're not going to be around, when to do shit, not to do shit. So every day was just on your P's and Q's and like lightly sleeping and just watching, because in prison you got 3 choices. It's either you join and be around the gang members, or you're joining around Muslims, or you just a civilian in between, and it's fair game. And as you can see, didn't join the gang. As you can see, I'm not Muslim.
So you just stay to yourself and just survive, basically.
Well, no, I had some acquaintances in there and things like that. People's family and brothers that I grew up with on the outside and stuff that happened to knew me and things like that, that just basically looked out and stuff like that. The first couple of months, got my footing and stuff like that. But my entire time in there, it was just simply with the mindset that I was going to get this reverse, that something was going to happen to where I was going to get out. And then as all else fails, with me not having a record, never being in trouble, even as a juvenile, me being in the military, me being honorably discharged, I'm like, I'm going home as soon as probation comes up or parole comes up, which I was told I was eligible for parole the moment that I hit DOC, because of the time, the way that the judge did it, for giving me the time on on house arrest, it already put me at a point of being eligible for parole. So basically, survival instinct, stay the fuck out the way. Parole's getting ready to come on. Don't get in trouble. Try to be straight. I mean, but as far as, you know, you can stay out the way. You know, things still happen. I still got in fights. Still had shit going on in there. And then it's just like staying focused the whole time I'm in there. I got family members dipping into my bank account, taking money without telling me. You know, motherfuckers not even visiting me or coming to see me, but dipping into my fucking account and shit. That was also the realization, like some of the people that I call friends, I just kind of like backed off. Where I was at, I was only 2 hours away, and motherfuckers couldn't even pull up. And I'm talking like people that I done gave bread to, people that I done housed and gave a place to stay, people that I done gave their kids rides, picked their kids up, did stuff for them, and I ain't hear nothing from these people. All these people that I helped, you know, find jobs, give money to, babysit, watch this, pay their rent, help them not get evicted. No one. So it just went back to just old 17-year-old Josh, me against the world. And my mindset from the ground, from the time, because I knew every day that I was there that I was getting out.
Right. I was getting out. Like, this ain't the end all be all. This is not gonna be my last place.
Exactly. And the whole time that I'm sitting in there and I'm listening to all these people, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm nothing like these dudes. Like, I'm sitting here with motherfuckers that's talking about getting on the outside and ready to do more crimes and more things and learning to, like, they're just in there sharpening their skills and knowledge to come back out and do more crimes. And I'm like, I'm getting out because this is not my mentality. I ain't like none of these motherfuckers in here. They want to be here. And for some of them, they actually deserve to be there. They haven't mentally matured and shit like that. And so I actually knew I was going home and shit. And I told myself from the time that I get out, you know, it's just me. You know, it's just me. You're all you got, no matter what. You know, you're all you got. So when you get out, live like there's no one else on the planet. That is just you out here. And sure enough, parole came. I talked to the lady for parole, and the lady for parole, she saw everything from my case, what was talked about, and everything like that. And in her mind, she was just like, I'm gonna recommend that you get parole.
Good shit.
And that pissed a lot of people off in my dorm and shit like that. I literally had motherfuckers trying to fight me to make sure that I got in trouble so I couldn't leave.
Damn. Crabs is pulling people down.
So, yeah, so I end up getting parole first go because, you know, I had a lot of people in my ear like, you're not getting it on the first time. You're not getting it on the first time. And I'm like, nigga, what? You don't know who I am. And sure enough, parole came. And after that, it was just trying to find a house to be able to get out on parole and things like that. And since then, got out, and everything I said I was going to do, get right back into the books, get right back into school like I was originally doing, find me somewhere low key, just stay the fuck out the way and away from people and things like that. And just get back to my health, getting things right with the military, collecting my benefits, seeing my doctor, seeing my therapist, and that's pretty much what happened.
So you're out, you're done. Bye-bye to whatever prison that you was at, right? And now you said, fuck it, I'm about to start new. All right. And I'm not going to say what differences did you make because you was already on the right path. So what did you do soon as you get out? As soon as you got out, you said you started hitting the books and stuff. So where did you go? What was your steps to get back to the glory that you once had, or that you wanted to have?
When I got out, funny thing, one of my exes was supposed to pick me up here originally in Baltimore when I got out, because I was going through a whole situation of possibly having a kid that turned out not. So one of my exes was supposed to pick me up. She didn't pick me up. I had literally had to Uber all the way from Baltimore to PG County to come pick up my stuff from one of my siblings that I don't talk to, and picked up my stuff, went straight to the store, got my phone, got a new phone, and end up getting dropped off in Mount Airy, because that's the place where I found the house to do to start my parole and probation at. One of my friends from when I was working on security, Ronnie, he pulled some strings, called some people that we used to work with, found the house for me to stay at. Shit that much appreciated, and immediately stayed with one of our old coworkers, mutual coworkers, for the first month. And that first weekend, I went straight. I came back down here I went back from Mount Airy. I caught a Uber from Mount Airy. No, I think I paid someone to come get me from Mount Airy to come down to PG County. Went to this car dealership and dropped $5,000 on a car to get back and forth for a little beat up Nissan. But it ran, got me back and forth. And immediately after I did that, got back integrated with the VA, start getting my money, everything clicking back in. And school, just like that, I joined the Academy of Arts online first for a couple of semesters. And then I moved to Baltimore October 2000. Yeah, October 2018. Only spent like 4 months. Spent like 4 months up in Mount Airy. Moved here, finished the semester, Academy of Arts, and started the University of Baltimore. At the University of Baltimore in 2019, and it's just been an uphill climb from there.
Damn. So you doing all this traveling back and forth. And if people don't know Mount Airy, where is that at?
Mount Airy is like an hour drive west of Baltimore, like going towards Frederick.
So you're driving an hour, literally trying to do all this, get your life back together. Was it hard to pick the pieces back up and started rolling on again, or was it just like clockwork? Hey, I already know what to do. Let's get it done.
That was pretty much what it is. I already knew what to do, because that's what I was used to doing anyway. Though people think that I was involved in all that stuff, my main focus before I was in was school and education, and getting better so I can provide a better living, to grow up different than how I was raised and how I grew up. So when I got out, it was just like, okay, I got to do this. And it just basically just knocking things off the checklist, and then back in school. And then once I got in school, got everything going, it just start going back natural. The only thing different I did is I became more cautious of the people I hung around. My interactions with females changed a little bit. Just that's about it as far as the minor change, but I've been the same person. Nothing's really changed about me.
Yeah, you're still a dickhead. But no, all jokes aside though, you did all this, you did the time, you went through so much, accusations, people beating you down and shit, and you still was able to come out on top. You still was able to make things happen. So you finished school, right? You finished school. You finished in December of 2021, if I'm not mistaken, right? Got your bachelor's degree. I got the picture with you going on the stage and everything. How did that make you feel? Knowing all the stuff that you just went through, how did that moment make you feel?
You just come to a realization that like you're blessed. Like, and also whatever you put your fucking mind to, you can do. Like, look at your story, look where you come from, look at everything, that's ever happened to you. You're first generation graduate within your family, and it took you from being molested as a child, being beat on by your stepfather, being homeless, bouncing around city to city, getting locked up, girlfriend being murdered, trouble like military, having PTSD, bipolar, anxiety, depression, sleep apnea, insomnia, and to see that I was able to accomplish that with everything that I had against me. Everyone that was rooting against me, the only thing that you can come to your mind is like, you're blessed, you're chosen. Like, there's something, there's people in the universe that's favoring you.
Right. Yeah, like this situation doesn't make me.
Right. It doesn't define you. You have a purpose in this world. Whatever it is, we took you through this path to get you here. And I do wish that I've never had to go through the whole accusation, the lies, and being convicted for something that I didn't do. But in this moment of time where I'm at, I can honestly say this version of Josh wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everything that I've gone through.
True. And bro, I want to say I am very proud of you. Like seriously, I am proud of you. Everything that you accomplished, everything that you went through makes you the person that you are today. Right. So with that being said, right, I'm gonna give you two things, right? First, we're gonna talk to the people that's successful, that want to be successful. What kind of advice would you give them when they are going through things? People that think there is no life, one, after prison, life after a downfall, life after failure. What kind of advice can you give them?
Devise a plan. Devise a plan of what you want to do, where you want to be. Research the steps to get there and execute. It's going to be hard. I know, it sounds simple, create a plan and hit the points, but stick to it. Create a plan and isolate yourself. You can't go back to being around people that influenced the behavior before. This is not talking to me, and this is in relation to other people that I know that's coming out of prison. A lot of the stuff is the environment. A lot of the times is being around certain friend groups, certain things, and you get sucked into it. And a lot of the things that I was hearing in prison contribute to it. And a lot of it deals with being around a certain type of environment. and you have to remove yourself from that environment and execute a plan and know where you want to go in your life. And once you know where you want to be in life, then you know what needs to be removed. If anything can interrupt you from executing your plan, getting to your plan, that means you have friends that like to party all the time. You have friends that's in the streets all the time. You have friends or relationships or partners that are always trying to trigger you, trying to start stuff. You remove it all and you strip. And sometimes that also for men, you have to also remove yourself from the dating market for a while, because women can be a distraction, not in positive or negative. They can be a distraction to your purpose if your mind isn't strong enough. So when you first getting out, you just need to focus on yourself and have those. If you have a support system, if you have people around you that are uplifting and going to support your decisions and can actually challenge you against your thinking, if you start to steer off course, they can correct you, then that's good. But it's not a lot of people that have the strong mind to actually go through it all the way by themselves. So mainly devise a plan, remove yourself from environments that can trigger you or make you end up in the original situation that you just came from, and then execute. It's going to be hard, but each day by day. I didn't graduate in a matter of a year getting out. It took me 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years since I got out to hammer down, go to school every day, waking up early,
And not only talking about that, you changed majors, 3 different times. So yeah, I totally agree with you. My second part is, to all the haters, to all the people that doubted you, what do you have to say to them?
And there's not much to be said. I can be arrogant about it and be that asshole and show off, because there is a lot of doubters and people that I actually read your messages and comments in my inbox. And since I've been out and been in your presence and walking around, you've been dead silent. And for some of them, you had a 6-year head start and you're still not doing nothing with your life. I can be that arrogant asshole and point that out and put that on blast. But at the end of the day, it's not about them. They're going to think what they're going to think about me from that person, from what they saw in the media, what they thought and heard, and things like that. But the people that's been around me, the people that I go to school with, the people that I work with, the people in the community that I help, the veterans that I'm around, the lives that I'm changing, they see the real Josh. So I don't have to do too much for people to doubt me, because I actually, if anything, keep doubting me. I mean, it feeds me. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, as you can see, regardless of what you say, whatever you do, I'm still destined to be where I'm headed.
So, one, I want to say I appreciate you having you coming on this podcast, telling your story. I know it was tough. I know, reliving a lot of that stuff was a little bit triggering, but I still appreciate you telling your story. We need more people like you to tell that story, to let people know that, hey, look, one, the situation don't make me. Two, there is life after prison. I can make something out of myself after a horrible situation. So one, I thank you for that. Two, that's an interesting picture behind you. And before I sign off, I want to go ahead and let's talk about that real quick, because I see 2 women, a man in the chair with the king cat, and 2 kids. Man, what we got going on back there?
It's my lifestyle. I'm a firm believer in polygamy. I've been a believer since I was 14. A lot of research, a lot of understanding, and just open my mind, not letting American society tell me how to love,
Okay.
how how I want to be loved, and how I choose to love other people. This is who I am. I believe men are capable, and I believe women are capable in loving more than one person. And you shouldn't let society dictate how you govern your relationship or how you distribute your heart and how you give out love. The most funniest thing to me is that in America and society, we can tell a man or tell people that they can't love more than one woman or more than one man, but you can perfectly say and be accepted that you have love for all your children. You can have 5 children and have love for all 5 of these children, but in the same breath, you're going to tell me or tell people that they're incapable and shouldn't be in love with more than one person and things like that. So just wash out the brainwashing and stuff like that from it, and understand that polygamy is in almost every religion. It's been around just as long as men been alive and things like that. It was just one of those things that when the church ruled and start to come over to Western civilization, capitalism, and all of that, it was founded that the only righteous way to love is one man, one woman before God. And then as we see as the years progress, okay, well, it's not one man and one woman. It can be one man and one man, or it can be one woman and one woman. And as you see every year, every decade, they starting to refute and starting to change laws because they're starting to understand that love is infinite. You can love who you want, and you can't dictate who you love and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a perfect depiction of loving, two beautiful Black women and having Black children. And I think it's a great way to build a community. We have over 4 million single mothers in the United States. We we're dead last in marriage rates. The Black family is basically broken in America, and the way that it's set up, you know, it's a lot of broken families, and the cost of living going up, and to be able to actually live and enjoy life, life is already set up to where you're supposed to have a significant other to be able to traverse through it and stuff. But imagine having the additional partner. Imagine not having to pay for daycare because it's 3 loving adults in the household that's contributing to the household. That's no debt. That's less outgoing money to childcare. That's more money coming in for food. That's making sure that there's consistent money to pay bills. You got old school. I know you heard it before. It takes a village to raise a child. So you have 3 adults in the house that's of like minding, teaching children to grow up, to do right, and just to be able to have that, and versus what we have now, where it's just a lot of single family homes, single moms raising their child, and we know statistically, children, boys that come from single family homes, the percentage of them going to prison has increased since the destruction of having a man in a household.
Right. So I want you to also name that artist who made that for you before we go.
Oh, his name is Brandon. He's a local tattoo artist here in Baltimore. If I can try to, his IG is Arn Ink Art. IRONINKART. He's a good tattoo artist, and as you can see, he does great work as well.
Hey, that's a great painting. Josh, I thank you for being on this podcast. I thank you for telling your story. It's an amazing story, one of those rag the riches story. And I know your story is not finished here. I wish you well on your master's program. Hell, I hope you make all A's throughout the whole program. And whenever you're ready for it, you seek out your PhD to become even more successful in your field. Thank you. And I will be talking to you later.
Appreciate you for having me.
No problem, no problem. And those who tuned in to the Success Story podcast, I thank y'all. This definitely is going to be a two-parter. We're going to split this up into two parts. So thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for hearing us out. Those who's listening on Spotify, Apple, or Google. And for those who watched on YouTube, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you get notified every time I come on and with something new. Thank y'all. Peace. Have a blessed day.